These people live in darkness. Unable to see, they are without sight. They cling to one another and those who lovingly guide them. The Emmanuel TV team starts leading them one by one to their allocated tables. The blind themselves have their own way of managing their disability. Here we can see them forming a train following the leader. It seems this is as efficient means as any other we have seen today to get around. Among them are many of their children, who at their young age find themselves with responsibilities far beyond their years. The parents' blindness makes them dependent upon their children for provision, safety, and survival. Driven by an unrelenting determination and willpower, see how this woman, beautifully dressed, perseveres despite her tragic condition. She holds her feet in order to move her legs, one painful pace at a time. The blind, with their children, continue to flood in under the guidance of the Emmanuel TV team as the church auditorium is quickly filling up. Outside one of the numerous entrances to the church, crowds are still queuing up to enter. Many of these people use walking aids and supports to hold themselves. They are the next section to be organised inside the church, ready to be served a meal. By this time, they will have worked up quite an appetite.
The line of people is disjointed, as to keep it orderly proves difficult due to the various speeds our friends move at. However, they give their best according to the level of their ability. Right now, as we all find ourselves in the midst of those in need, let us not look the other way imagining we are only in the company of the poor, weak, disadvantaged and contemptible people. We will be made to know, perhaps when it will be too late, that it was Jesus himself that we denied. To the carnally minded, money, service of sacrifice given in charity, may seem thrown away, but when given in proper attitude and intent, it is seed sown from which greater increase is expected. As we look upon so many suffering, it is comforting to know that God knows all men. There is no sorrow heaven does not feel. Heaven is aware. Someone is busy planning for their provision. God knows every need we face, and right now, He is busy providing for those needs according to His riches in Christ Jesus. We should not be surprised if any moment from now, the thousands we have seen are blessed. This is what Jesus Christ came for, lived for, died for, and rose again for. Elsewhere on the church premises, other members of the team are employing their time in catering for the crowds, an essential part of the day's program. There are people who may not have eaten well for some days. As they come to the Synagogue Church of All Nations, they will not only enjoy a nourishing meal, but also the vital food needed for their souls. Yes, Every day we receive the fruit of God's mercy. In His Word is light, life, in fact, everything we need to live for Him, here and now. These three gentlemen have been gently seated by the Emmanuel TV team and placed their crutches beside them on the floor, relaxing comfortably after the struggle of getting to the church. If you can see past the ungainly movement of this young boy, your eyes will look upon the helpless expression written all over his face. Dirty from rolling and rolling and rolling and rolling along the ground, his case is enough to touch the heart of anyone who does justice and loves mercy. Jesus has no mouth but your mouth to tell people how He died, to tell people such as these that someone cares, someone protects, and that someone is Jesus. With half the church auditorium now filled up, those who we now see entering are taken to the other side, where yet more tables and chairs have been set up for their coming. Bethlehem Charity and Orphanage Center move as one group, smartly dressed in their uniforms. They are the fatherless, those who lack motherly care and the upbringing of a secure home. They have come seeking further assistance in the warm arms of Emmanuel TV. They are welcome. Panning the entire church, the atmosphere is expectant. We can clearly note that the church is crammed with the physically challenged, each one with their own specific needs and aspirations for what today's meeting will bring. As they sit, the Emmanuel TV team encourages them to cultivate a climate of faith, knowing that an atmosphere of faith makes it easier to receive of Jesus. At the same time, efforts are still being made to sit the remaining guests before the program commences. An uncommon picture. Hundreds of the physically challenged, seated at hundreds of tables. It makes you smile to see such a vast number of them, who have had the faith to come here to the Synagogue Church of all nations. Works of charity are of grace and command our faith, thanksgiving and self-denial. It is all about Jesus, not about us.
Prime meat, chicken and rice have been cooked for today's menu. A feast fit for a king. A feast many of our guests have been waiting for. As disciples of Christ, we are called to serve and not to be served. For we serve God when we serve others in need. The workers take generous helpings to the tables, as each person is thankful for a good hot meal. There is enough food to go round, and for many a second helping is very much welcome. A few even demand a third. All ate until they were satisfied. With so many to care for, the team continues to wait on the physically challenged, carrying trays with plates of food around the church. Others hand out bottled water to accompany the meal. It takes the grace of God to give cheerfully. You who say you are not properly placed